A recent study says almost 1 out of every 3 women in the United States are depressed at some point in their lives. A local group is now looking for women who are depressed to participate in a clinical trial. Could it be right for you?
Dr. Jeffrey S. Simon is the founder and director of the Northbrook Research Center. Dr. Simon, thanks for being with us. Some of the statistics that we've been reading and telling people about this morning are pretty shocking.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's several issues with depression. The number one issue is that it goes undiagnosed and therefore untreated. And it's a very treatable disorder.
And when we're talking about depression, it's not just, oh, I had a bad day, I'm feeling depressed about this, or I'm feeling depressed about a certain situation. There are symptoms that are serious that continue, correct? Which are what?
That is correct. And for the diagnosis of major depressive disorder, one needs to have persistent symptoms of depression for at least a 2-week period of time. And those symptoms include feeling sad or blue, loss of interest or pleasure in usual activities, low energy, sleep disturbance, which can be too much sleep or not enough sleep, appetite disturbance, same thing, you can have too much appetite or loss of appetite, troubles with concentration, loss of interest in sex, thoughts of guilt, and then the most critical symptom is thoughts of death, which is very commonly seen in the diagnosis of depression.
The thing I think that should concern us the most is that there are a lot of people who probably had it for such a long time, and I wonder about them in particular. They don't know that they have it. They maybe see themselves in some of the symptoms that you mentioned, but maybe it's persisted for so many years to different varying degrees or something that they don't even know that they have depression, and so they've never had treatment.
Sure, and it's common for us to see people who say, I've been depressed for my whole life. And it's also very common for us to see the people who've had depression that's been undertreated, either not treated long enough or not treated with a therapeutic dose of medicine. And
So,
it's very important in the treatment of depression to treat to remission. And remission is defined by absence of symptoms.
Okay.
So the Northbrook Research Center is looking for study participants right now for a clinical trial of an investigational medication that you're investigating. Why is that important? What about the treatment out there right now? Is it not working? Is it not working for everybody? What's behind this study?
That's a great question. The treatments that are currently available, and at the Northbrook Research Center we have tested every antidepressant that is on the market at this point since about 1985. The treatment that's on the market, about 60% of patients show a response, meaning that they get 50% better. And only about 30 to 40% of patients go into remission, meaning absence of symptoms. So there's a big chunk of the population that's not responding to current medications.
So what's a clinical trial with a new medication? How does that work?
Okay, in a clinical trial, first thing we do is we do very accurate diagnoses to make sure that depression is the only thing the person is suffering from. Then we do blood work, very extensive blood work and EKGs and physical exams to make sure there's not a medical cause for the depression. And then participants participate by taking either the medicine that we're studying or an inactive medicine or placebo. And they don't know which they're on, and neither do I. And that's to really have a fair test of how things are working.
Who should participate in this study, and why should someone be interested in being part of a clinical study like this?
There are several reasons why people participate in studies. One reason is that they don't have insurance, and all of our treatment is free. Another is they want to keep their treatment confidential. They don't want to use their health insurance. They don't want their employer to know that they're undergoing treatment. And again, all of our treatment is totally confidential.
And totally free.
And totally free.
Okay.
A third reason is that we follow patients much closer than patients who are traditionally getting seen for depression. And number 4, at the end of a clinical trial, if a patient needs further treatment, we will treat them for free.
Really?
And if they're at the end of the clinical trial, if they're feeling better, we do follow-up appointments. And let's say their depression comes back 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, they can always come back to us.
What if somebody's currently having treatment? Can they still be eligible for the study? Because there are going to be people out here who say, this might be right for me. How do they know if they would be able to participate?
They can give us a call.
Okay.
And the first step is we talk with them on the phone to get a sense of what they've been on and how they're doing and if they're a candidate. And then if they are a candidate, we bring them in for a very extensive evaluation. The first appointment takes about 2.5.
I always like to leave things, I don't know, like a happy ending or something, but what's the good news about depression? What's the hopeful message that you could share with people, especially people who are suffering or who've suffered for a long time?
That's a very treatable illness. And the most important thing is to find the right combination of treatment or the right medicine or the right combination of medicine. And it's very important to keep doing different trials of medicine until you're treated to remission. And that is an achievable goal.
Yeah, because so many people in one study I read think that depression is a personal weakness, something like 54%. And I think that's the message, is this is a treatable illness,
Absolutely.
a problem that is not within people's power to just self-heal.
Absolutely.
It's so nice to have you on this show today. Thank you so much for being here
Thank you for
and
having
sharing
me.
the information about this really important clinical trial. It is, again, Northbrook Research Center, and Northbrook has an E on the end of it. NorthbrookResearchCenter.com is where you can go for more information. Again, it's confidential, it's free. The phone number is on your screen. It's 414-357-9444. Thank you again, Doctor.
Thank you.